Welcome back to Exposing It All podcast. So today we're going to talk about network marketing.
Yep.
So I guess we can start by talking about our experience. Do you remember our first experience in network marketing?
I do. Very fondly. So we were at Target shopping like we always did with our two toddlers and our 11-year-old at the time. I believe he was 11. And we were at Target, doing a regular Target thing in the baby aisle. And some guy randomly just started talking to us, and he was really nice. He just asked a bunch of questions. At the time, we didn't know that they were kind of like setup questions, but he just seemed like a generally nice person. So I'm a conversationalist. You start talking to me, you're nice, I'll talk to you no matter what. You want to talk about anything, this son, this guy. So he just started talking and asking me questions. And that's when,
About a high chair, right?
yeah,
Wasn't it the high chair?
asking questions about a high chair that we were looking at. And for our son, for our babies, because he was looking for one for his son. We got on topic about, what do you do? Explaining what you do, what are your dreams or anything like that. He's like, oh, well, what did he say? He has said
His mentor.
His mentor was retired by the time he was 27 years old, and he has passive income, all these awesome things. Like, just as a young person, you hear and you're like, what? That sounds amazing. Like, you could obtain those things. We're ambitious young people. So he was talking to us about all these things, and I was intrigued. So Sarah is always leery of people regardless. So she was like, yeah, whatever this guy's trying to sell us, we're not going to buy it. And honestly, I just kind of like fed into it, because it was like telling me a bunch of good stuff, and didn't tell me like anything was like a sales pitch or anything like that, but it was to better ourselves, better our family and growth and all that stuff. So he said that he'd meet with us again, and he'd want to talk more about his mentor. And he made it to like so intriguing to where we wanted to meet this guy. Like, okay,
Yeah.
when do we get to meet this guy? And
But he started that conversation with like so basic.
Yeah,
and it almost seemed like he found us at the perfect time. Remember, it was like right after my mom passed away.
Yeah.
We were pregnant with our second child, and I wasn't working at the time because that's when I was staying at home.
Mm-hmm.
And I was on iron infusions 3 times a week. And it was like that time, remember? Like I was at home, and I remember you telling him that I was a stay-at-home mom.
Yeah.
And that we were expecting another child, and he was like, oh, you want to keep her at home? I remember him saying that, you want to keep her at home? And you're like, I want her to stay at home.
Yeah.
She plans to stay at home.
Love to do that.
I remember him, it felt at the time too, even though I was Larry, I remember like, oh, maybe he met us at the right time. Like maybe it was like an angel. Like he met us in the diaper aisle.
Mm-hmm.
I remember saying that for a long time. I remember like, oh, he found us in the diaper aisle at Target. An angel found us in the diaper aisle at Target.
Yeah, definitely. It was definitely like a boost. It was like an encouragement at that time, because things weren't looking great, but there were things were happening in our lives. So, we, like Sarah said, her mom just passed, so it wasn't the greatest time in our life. But it definitely was a spark that we felt we needed. We felt like definitely an angel entered our life. And like I said, going over the course of things, we ended up being vetted, is pretty much what it was. And we met with him like once or twice a week.
But to go have coffee.
Yep, we'd meet and have coffee, and then he'd talk to us. He would let us know about the plan. He would talk to us about the next events that were coming up.
It was a 5-year plan. I remember him telling us he was going to retire. Like he had a couple years left in his 5-year plan, and we could be on that 5-year plan. And we were so intrigued. And I just remember us, like, we were prepared. We set out our 5-year plan with him, and we started planning with him. And to be honest, the company was Amway. It was Amway. And we did it for a long time. We were a part of Amway for a long time, and
Yeah.
we vested money into Amway. We built our business. We bought products from ourselves to, you know, we started building our legs so that way we could have this passive income. And, you know, we were, one of the things I remember him always telling us is, you don't want to trade dollars for hours anymore. You don't want to work, remember? Like jobs, they suck. Like jobs are just for trading dollars for hours.
Yeah.
But yet we were going to all these like meetings. Remember how many times a week would we?
So like twice a week a
Twice a
meeting
week
and
a
then like
meeting.
longer conventions. So we were spending a lot of time, even at that time, like I said, from our babies and finding babysitters and all that stuff because we were hungry. We are like, if it's only 5 years, that's nothing. We can make this happen. But we're also not seeing the silver lining, which was the fact that like it takes money to make money. So when we went to the bigger events, we did see the people that were upline and they were triple diamond, all that stuff, and they had the amazing, beautiful life. They had that, and all they would do is have to speak and do these things. But it was a
Truly retired
realization.
at 26 too.
They truly were, but they also had a lot different than us because they had either got married into it or they were able to build it at a younger age where they
Which
were
they don't
single.
tell you either.
If you're a single person and you're able to go and do this and spend the time and you're able to move back into your parents' house and cut all your expenses and put all your money into it because like Sarah said, we were in it for a while and you would put money into it, which was a decent amount, and you would pretty much say that you're gonna buy from yourself to pay yourself. Well, I remember us buying from ourselves, and I asked Sarah how much we made, and she told me the amount that we made, and I said that is not significant at all. Like that, we're working so hard to get nothing out of it, and if we're gonna plan on doing this for 5 years, like I don't see the prize.
Yeah.
And it was coming down to points where we are like,
We would literally
kind of,
like budget it to where we were almost like forcing ourselves to still pay for it. Like making
yeah,
ourselves, putting ourselves in debt to still buy from ourselves just because we believed in this 5 year plan. And I want to back up for just a second because we believed so much in this 5 year plan. And one thing they never told us is that these people that retired at 26 were part of the Uppers family. So the people who built Amway already built Amway, and they were married into this business because they were part of Amway. They were married into the top people of the family, and so they already had a business. So of course you could retire at 26. You married one of the daughters. So of course you could retire at 26. You didn't have to do much and you already had legs. You had a business put underneath you. It's kind of like I just was talking to David last night about this, like Warren Buffett. Like everybody talks about how in his will he didn't leave anything to his children, like he didn't leave anything specifically listed out. But the thing is, these children have nonprofit organizations. They will have generational wealth for years to come. So the way he set it up, they're set for life. They don't need anything listed out in a will because there's nonprofit organizations and businesses that belong to these children and they'll be set for life. They don't need actual money and houses given to them because they're already set for life. And that's one thing that we were never told. They would bring us into these meetings and be like, bring your family, bring your friends. And we would bring our family and bring our friends, have meetings in our houses. And they're like, your kids won't remember that you're gone at these meetings because when you get older, all you're going to have is time. That's what they tell you, is they tell you that like they sell you on this dream, right? You can quit your job. Like you have a career, you went to college, you got in debt, and jobs suck. Like working 9 to 5, working for somebody, like your job's a pyramid scheme. Well, really, they want you to leave your pyramid scheme and work for their pyramid scheme. That's just the truth of it. Because really, who's making money? You're working for the guy at the top. You get a little penny, you get pennies on the dollar for what you're buying, and it's never your business. A business is not you buying products or pushing products for yourself to make money. A business, you don't have to keep doing that same thing over and over and over again for yourself to make money. That's not really owning your business.
yeah. And they made it seem as if, like Sarah said, like that you're as equal to the person on top. Well, it was
Yeah.
a realization that you are definitely not an equal to that person. You have an equal opportunity to get what that person has, and don't get me wrong, like there are people that we've seen in that organization that did go from the bottom,
Hmm.
and but they were single people. They were single people that went and did it and all that, and it was amazing stories. Like I said, there was times, like I said, I was drinking the Kool-Aid a little bit more than Sarah might have at the time, so I was just like, yeah, this is gonna work, this is gonna push. I'm feeling it. I'm reading these audios, I'm listening to them, I'm feeling like this is amazing. And we talked about, I was like, I want to start my own business. And he's like, well, if you start your own business, you're gonna put this many hours into work and you're gonna do this many times away from your family and all this stuff like that.
They're
And
even
it was,
against starting your own business.
yeah, I was gonna
I,
start my own business for HVAC.
because you have to work. What did he say? What did he used to tell you? Our mentor used to tell us, like, don't start your own business because you're always going to be busy doing what? Working for yourself. You're always going to be invested into your own business, but they still want you to do the same exact thing. Network marketing, like you have to be on Zoom calls, you have to be sending they use this app that was called Communicate, so you'd be sending audios to each other daily. You would be on these team calls, motivational speaking calls. You'd be going to these conventions and these events that cost money. Some people would pay to travel to other states. Like, fortunately, a lot of these events that we went to were in our states. We didn't
Yeah,
have to
so we're
pay to
pretty lucky.
travel, but we would still have to pay $300 and $400 for tickets to get in for a weekend, not including like sitters, you all this time you spend away from your children. And it would upset me to be away from my children, or even having meetings in my house, like my kids, being away from my kids to have these meetings in my house with these people. It was just, it was crazy. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your
No, you're
story
good.
about that, but it's just crazy how they would tell us all the time, like, don't build your own business, like don't go start your own business because you're going to be so busy and you're going to work for yourself forever and you're going to be overworked and you're never going to be able to retire. But they sell you on this dream that you're going to be able to retire
Hmm.
working for somebody else, like on like network marketing. And it's not multi-level marketing, it's network marketing.
Yeah.
When they're all one and the same. Now there's what, affiliate marketing? It's affiliate marketing, network marketing, multi-level marketing. They're all one and the same.
It's all a change of words, but it's
Yeah.
honestly just getting people underneath you. The more people you get underneath you, then that's how you
The
become
more they
the
pay.
equal at the top, because now you're the top of that, your own pyramid, if you will. And that's, it took a while for us to realize that it truly was a pyramid scheme. And we were told by people would bring in family, friends, like, are you sure that's sounds like a pyramid scheme? It doesn't sound like it's something that's so true, And some people were like, well, I wish the best for you guys, because like I said, we're ambitious, and you hear these stories and you're just like, yeah, I can obtain that, I could do that easily. Or we're driven and we can do these things, and we have a great mentor. His mentor is, we're gonna meet him. We finally met him, and it was amazing to meet him. It was awesome. Hearing his story was amazing too. But like I said, just at the end of it, we just became to where we're like, wow, this really isn't working out for us. And in those times, I think we had stopped doing it, and our mentor was still pressing on, still reaching out to us and stuff like that. And we had moved on. We were still just running and growing our family. And we had asked our mentor, like, hey, like, he would check in on us and be like, hey, how's it going? Are you retired yet? Like,
7 years later.
yeah. And he's like, oh, no, we're still working on it. We made our Ruby ship and all this stuff like that, which was pretty commendable. But when they were starting to climb the ladder, but it took them almost 10 years to get at that Ruby ship. And that was
And
five
they're
more years longer than what they told us. So,
15 years in, they still haven't retired and have invested so much money into this company. And I don't want to talk bad about our mentors, because
no,
our mentors are
it was an awesome,
were
awesome journey.
amazing humans. Even to
Yeah.
this day, we've had conversations. Even to this day, they have still checked in on us and
Yeah,
said,
most
how are
definitely.
you
Great
doing?
people.
Like, we just made connections, because I think we're just those people. Like, when we make strong connections with people, they stay connected to us, even if it's just like, hey, how are you doing? We miss you guys. We're thinking
Yeah,
about you guys.
most
We
definitely.
just
So,
are those, we're those
yeah,
people,
I definitely don't want to
you
talk bad
know?
about them. We're just talking about our situation, about how
Yeah.
we were mentored, and how we felt like this honestly wasn't benefiting us anymore. So we've poured into our family, poured into church, and poured into each other, and we're just like, you know what? Let's just build our own dreams and build this, because honestly, this, the bigger fact is that, like, yes, you can truly be mentored and you can be molded and you can do all these things. And they had great, forums, they had great platforms, and
And then it's a great
things.
success stories, but when you look at the background of where these people came from, they either already came from money or they already came from the top. There was somebody in the business who already had given them part of the business, or what they would call in Amway and particularly legs of the business. Like you would move people under them of the business. And that's why some companies like Beachbody, for example, they got away from the legs of the business and now it's just affiliate marketing. And that's what some businesses are doing now to make it's a better name or a better way of marketing, but it's all the same. You still have to recruit people. You may not be cold calling, you may not be doing those type of things, but you're still pushing product. You still have to advertise every single day. You still have to push product every single day. Every single day. You still have to talk about your product every single day, because if you don't, how are you going to make money?
Yeah,
Who's
and
going to sign up
even
under you? How
yeah,
are you
like
going to make
Sarah
money?
said, like the biggest part was like recruiting. So like I said, I thought that I would be good at talking to people, and I'd try to go to the targets and do all that, and I would get some names and get some numbers. But a lot of people were just like, "What? Like this is weird." Or even like your own coworkers. I remember bringing in my coworkers, and they were like, go to meetings with me, and they're like, "You're crazy." Like this, like they would leave. I remember we brought this young kid in. He was really young, ambitious, and he was driven and everything like that, and he showed promise, but he was just like, what do you mean I gotta do this for this many? Like, no, like I got my own 5 year plan and I see that building quicker than this. And it was just kind of like, not necessarily lost friends, but like coworkers would look at you like, oh, you're going to keep on talking about that network marketing stuff. And it was just like, yeah,
And we didn't
because
see it for the longest time. We didn't see marketing as network marketing for the longest time. And I personally fell into it multiple times and tried it myself multiple times with different products. I'm like, oh, I'm going to try this. And he's like, all right, babe, go ahead, do it. Do that. If it works for you, you like it, sure, go ahead. Like he's always stood behind me for the things that I've done, but we've also fallen into a lot of network marketing together. Like, sure, we can make some money off this. Insurance, like we've fallen into network marketing for insurance multiple times, Primerica, because people are so good at telling you, oh, this can help you and your family, or they're good at like spinning it to make it not sound like network marketing. And then you get to it and I'm so good at picking it up now. And I'm telling you, we've been married for 16 years. And in our 16 years, we probably have been pulled into it, probably at least a good 20 times.
yeah, and it's mostly like because we shop together with our kids and stuff, so they see our family. They're like, "Oh, look at these young people with their big families," and they start talking like, "Oh my gosh, isn't it so
Mm-hmm.
expensive to be shopping?" And oh, you got 4 kids. Oh, really? What do you do? Oh, yeah. Well, would you like to work less and make more? And we're like, heck yeah, anybody would like to do that. And by then, they're like, well, by then Sarah's
Do you
already
want
looking at
multiple
me with
streams of
eyes and
income while
stuff
you're
like
working,
that,
while
and
you're
I'll
home?
indulge, I'll let people talk and stuff like that. And Sarah's like, oh yeah, well, we already have a mentor. We already have we've already done that. And what do you do? And they're like, oh, I'm with this. They're like, oh, that's almost like Amway. And they're like, yeah. So she kind of like just
Or I'll
shuts them
just call
down
them
right
out. I'm like, is
away,
it Amway? No, it's this. Okay, well, heard of them too.
and
Gotta go.
sometimes
Have a nice day.
that just saves them some time too. But it's like you try and do it the nicest way because, like I said, when I was out there, I didn't want to be shut down like that either. But you also don't want to be wasting your time because we don't want you to waste your time either.
Yeah.
Because there are some people out there who definitely want to hear that, want to try it, and for the most part, you just definitely have to trust your heart. But it going back to the beginning, we definitely did feel like our mentor was put in our lives for a reason because at that time we definitely did need some guidance and some structure and some stability of looking at our lives, like what we did want to do for our lives. And it wasn't based off of that Amway life per se, but it was definitely to restructure our
Like
lives and
financial
think about
planning. Yeah.
what exactly we wanted to do and grow and have our own ambitions and growth and how we can obtain that. And that helped us immensely. So there were some great tools that we used there, but it was also like some watered down stuff that was like, this just isn't benefiting us. Like we're, really not rising up. We're just like kind of staying afloat,
Hmm.
kind of just making it, barely making it to the events. And when we get there, we're just like, yeah, this is good and all, but it's like, look at everybody else around us. They're either like in the same boat as us or they're above us. Like there was no middle ground, and some people were rising up and some people weren't. And like I said, even our own people at that time were just trying to grow. And we are seeing people lost. The people that started in the beginning with us were no longer with us towards the middle or towards the end. And that's just because they had to live and make their own choices of life. And that's exactly what happened. Like life happens to where you have to make your own decisions. And yeah, the truth of the story is that we do have to work. And yeah, everybody would want to be retired, but couldn't, have that much free time at 27 years old and be retired. Like, what would you do with your life? Like,
The truth is, like, network marketing, it does work for some people. Some people are really good at it because they're good at bamboozling people. Like, let's be real. Like, they're good at talking to people and like getting people to come in. Some people are just good salespeople. That's why people sell cars. That's why people sell products, because they're good salespeople. And some people are really good at it. And network marketing works for them. It doesn't work for everybody. And everybody uses the same terminology. Like, you just have to stay consistent. You just have to stay positive. You just have to do this. But the truth is, like, not everybody is good at it, for one.
mm-hmm.
For two, there is a lot of dishonesty in network marketing. Like, for us, even with Amway, like, we did truly love some of their products. And the truth is, some of their products did change. I know for me, some of their products, I started to notice they started to add fillers into their vitamins. And I wasn't okay with some of the fillers in their vitamins. And they had some of the top notch vitamins. They had, what were those owls? They had owls, these certain particular
Falcons.
owls or falcons at their farm to catch like rodents and stuff, because it's like a super organic, super clean farm, etc. Like, best of the best. However, when people get big, they start to take shortcuts. I was with several different companies. I worked with LifeVantage, I worked with It Works, I worked with Amare. How many other companies did I work with? Herbalife. I worked with so many different other network marketing companies. And that's the thing, is like, there comes a point where the companies just get so big, even Beachbody, like, the companies get so big, they start to take shortcuts in their products. They start to have fillers, or like my big thing right now, proprietary blends. Like, proprietary blends, they're not regulated. So it can be one thing or a sprinkle of things, and you don't even know how much is actually in a product. And people will just say, oh, this is so great. This is what it does. Well, do you know that's what it does? Do you know this is actually what's in that product? You could push it all day and tell me that's what's in that product, but it's not regulated. It can be listed on there, but as a proprietary blend, but we don't know exactly how much is in there of certain things, especially when it comes to like supplements. So that was like a big thing even with Amway, like when we stopped taking the vitamins too. Because for a while there, we were even customers. When we stopped selling and being partners or business partners, we became customers because we liked the products. Years later, we became customers of our mentors because we liked the products to help our mentors,
Mm-hmm.
with no intention of ever building a business again or ever being part of network marketing. We like the products. But what happened? Fillers entered the room. And we stopped buying the products because there's fillers in some of their products that they didn't used to have. And Amway's been around for years. Amway was around
Like
our
60 years or
parents.
something like that.
Our parents were,
Long
you
time.
know, young. And network marketing also can just be so deceiving. There's so many people out there that will just push products and false claims. And some people are just so desperate for that dollar. They are so desperate for that extra income. They're so desperate to, like, who doesn't want to make extra income right now? And in this day and age, like, who doesn't need extra income? Like, we both work full time. But would we not mind extra income? Hello, like, yeah, I'll take extra income all day.
Yeah.
You tell me I could retire early? Sure, sign me up. But
Like the saying was, is like, buy from yourself and all that. And like, that it tastes like, even though you don't like it, it tastes like money. Or
Mm-hmm.
like the little verbiage would be like, well, that may not be the toothpaste you like, but it's the toothpaste that makes you
That
money.
pays me.
It's the
Yep.
deodorant that pays you. It's all
Mm-hmm.
these things that are like, all right, you're rewording it to make it like it's okay, when it's just like, there's certain things. Yeah, there were some great products, but there was like, I didn't like the way this deodorant worked, or I didn't like the toothpaste or anything
Mm-hmm.
like that, or those type of things, to where it was like, all right, like I said, for me, it was the biggest part was like, all right, we've invested this amount of money, and our outcome is how much?
Our return on investment was minimal.
And we're going to
$50,
continue to do
$80.
this every month.
We got to a point of where
That's not benefiting us at all.
yeah, we got to a point where we built a couple, we had a couple lakes for a
Yeah,
while
yeah, a
there.
couple of
And I think it was like a couple $100. I think our max, like $300, I want to say, was like the biggest. And it was like consistent for a while. Um, when your uncle was in it and everything.
yeah,
And we had a consistent, like, what do they refer to it as? A residual income or a passive income,
passive
whatever.
income.
And we're like, oh, this is a decent, like, that's a car payment at the time, or that's, extra money at the time. And it was consistent for a while, but it still wasn't worth it. The time away from our children wasn't worth it. Even now, like, people who do affiliate marketing, like, we were just having this conversation yesterday. I could not be on social media all day. Even doing a podcast, like, sure, I could take 30, 45 minutes, an hour to do a podcast, but I couldn't imagine this being my entire life. My entire life devoted to network marketing, having to post reels, having to post shorts, having to post a podcast, having to post something to do with my business to make a sale. I couldn't imagine that. I could not imagine that being my life. Like, I just couldn't. Like, my family, our time together is way too important. Like, I enjoy social media. And David's already said it before. First podcast we did together, like, he's not a social media person. He is just supportive of what I do and what I enjoy. He is here being supportive of me and having these conversations with me because we've done this stuff together and sharing, like, the things we've done together. Um, but he's not a social media person, and I enjoy social media, and I will be on social media, but I'm also a private person where not my entire life is on social media. Our entire life is not on social media. I couldn't imagine. And so many people have to literally post everything to make a dollar, even like big name influencers. Like, I couldn't imagine like taking that time away from my kids, taking that time away from my family, taking that time away from me just like enjoying my coffee. I couldn't imagine like just having to do that all day for money. I I just couldn't, or even just a passive income, like having a full-time job and doing this network marketing thing. No, like I couldn't. And we see it all day on, so me, I say we, but me. I see it all the time on social media, people just talking about products, posting. And I understand we need money because we all need money to live. It's expensive to live. But all day long, I could not imagine. And then so many false narratives. Like, so many people will bend. They will bend the truth just to make a dollar. And that to me is not like, there's so many lies in network marketing. There's so many like false hope. And like, we lived it. We lived it for so long. And the reason we talk about Amway is because we invested in that for so long. And we built that business for so long. We went to meetings for so long. We would scrape and beg and borrow to be able to attend events and to be able to, have somebody watch our kids so we can go to a meeting. And I am talking like David said, multiple times a week. We'd
Yeah.
be at meetings
Be
or
like,
go out just to talk to people,
yeah,
to recruit.
like exactly, trying to recruit people, or even like trying to get it to the Super Bowl of the event. And it's just like, getting there was awesome, but it was like the people that were being raised up were the people that were at the top. They were not, you know, the people even in the middle were like, you saw the separation of like, okay, now your mentor is sitting in the middle tables and you're kind of in the back row still, but you're like, you're still significant because you're there and you're representative of the affiliates that are up higher, but you kind of like, wow, like what a stage to be on. But you can see yourself on that stage, but like realistically, you truly can't because you barely made it to that event, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, like Sarah said, like they sell a lot of like good, it seems like good stuff, and there's good, wholesome people that are in it, and that's kind of what like messes with you is because there are some good, wholesome people in there, and they're trying just as hard as you, and they see the good in you, and they want to bring that out, but it's not going to come out in their form that they want it to happen. So you know, there's a lot of good things to take away from having a mentor. And mentorship is good to have. You know, us sometimes even being mentors to, you know, growing up our whole lives, we were mentors to our nieces and nephews, now our children, to each other at work, our coworkers, and things like that. So there's great things to learn from mentorship and to grow and to be a part of, you know, just like a leader, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
But when it's not being fed to you the right way, it's kind of like it does hurt. It is that kind of like dupe. You feel duped, you know, like dang, like I thought you cared about me as much as you talked about, and I thought this was this, and
Yes.
then it turns around to be, well, you didn't work hard enough, you didn't want it hard enough, and it's just like you don't even know where I came from, you don't even know the half the stuff I told you is not the full story of how low we were, and you know that's just hard to for somebody to tell you that you didn't want it enough. And it's just the truth is that like some things are truly not that easy to obtain in that little time. So
And so many of these
just
companies, they're like I said, they're either at the top, related to somebody at the top, or even if they made it to the top organically, the system becomes so oversaturated that people, this person who's done it and this person who's done it. So now it's like saturated, oversaturated in the same area. And that's kind of what happened to us. Like where we live now, before we lived in this area, in this city was huge. It was booming. There was a huge mentor in this particular city that was booming,
oh
like
yeah,
top of Colorado. Okay. This city was booming because they needed a mentor because it wasn't oversaturated. If we tried to do that here in this city now, I'm sure that every person in this city's already been talked to
yeah,
before we ever moved to this city because we didn't live in this city. We lived in Denver, and Denver was still kind of like getting there.
yeah,
You know,
exactly.
it
Yeah,
wasn't
all
like
you
the
heard
city that we
about
lived
was the
in.
Springs and
Yeah.
Tiffany Springs, and it's like
And
a small big town is what the Springs is.
yeah. And so it was like a booming city in the state of Colorado. And so many people have, like some places just become oversaturated, like I said, to where you're not able to do anything. You can talk to somebody. It's kind of like I said, when I would run into people, I could recognize that spill right away.
Yeah,
Oh, this toothpaste isn't the same. Oh, this cologne. Oh, this perfume. I buy a perfume that pays me now.
yeah,
Okay, is this Amway? Okay, is this that? Or it's even like on social media with I've been obese majority of my life, okay? I was desperate to try anything to lose weight. And that's why I did try so many network marketing companies because anytime I would see somebody with results, I'm like, oh, I'm just going to try it. I'm going to try it. I'm going to try it. Okay, I'm going to try it. And I don't even care. I'm going to sign up and I'm going to sell it because I believed people's results. And now I was hip to the game. I was hip to the game of people fudging their results, fudging their pictures, lying a little bit. Like they might have, just had a baby and then posted a new picture and they're like, oh, look at me, I lost 25 pounds. And it's like, oh, I'm just kidding. I just gave birth, about a year ago and I dropped the baby weight. So this is me now. Like there's just people who bend or fudge the truth so that way they can market to people, draw people to their page, draw people to, you know, buying their product and they can make sales and make money. Like I said, that people are willing to risk their integrity for $1. I'm not that type of person anymore. I mean, even when we were in Amway, I don't even think we were those type of people. We're like, hey, we know about our mentor. We would share great things about our mentor, but we would really just share our story and how the way we built our team was organic.
Yeah,
Our team was built organically. And we weren't making thousands upon thousands, but we were making a couple $100 organically. And we got somewhere, we built something, and we were able to be recognized for the little bit that we built. However, it still wasn't enough. And it wasn't like top dog for the company to be like, oh my gosh, these people are like at the top, enough to be recognized. But it was something, and it was built organically, but it still wasn't enough. And then, there were some things that were unethical and immoral that they would want you to do. Like, oh, well, go out and do this and tell people that jobs suck. Like that's always bothered me, because we need to work to live. You don't have to live to work, but we need to work to live. And people would literally quit their jobs and go in full time. Like, I'm going to build a business. They would, like
That's
David said in
insane.
the beginning, people would have parents that they could move in with and be like, I'm going to go in full time, steam ahead. And we knew this young kid who literally moved in with his parents, and he went diamond in less than a year. Like, he went full steam ahead. But what did he do? Took all his college friends with him. It was easy for him, because you had kids who were freshmen in college that could be like, oh, I'm staying with my parents too. I'm going to build a business also. And he could grow like that. For some of us who were parents who had households to provide for, there's no way we could quit our jobs and just be like, oh, yeah, let me just go head first into building a network marketing business. Like, no,
Yeah,
we
it's
weren't
different.
21 years old anymore, or 18 years old, and being like, oh, let's do this. Like, no, it's totally different for us. And so it was different, and that wasn't something that we could do or we would do. Like, that whole saying, like, older and wiser, we're definitely older and wiser. And I definitely think that we've gotten to that point now where we spent several years, and we've gone back to it more than once. I was doing network marketing, last year
Yeah.
with Amare, when I was drinking Happy Juice, because I loved the product. And I stopped drinking it because of morals and ethics. It never was the product.
Yeah, the product was great. I even drank it and it was good. And like my happy juice, the go-go juice, had make me feel
Yeah.
stop drinking energy drinks and drink the happy juice. So there were some good benefits to it and stuff like that. But like when it came down to, like what Sarah said, like more so like the ethics and morals of people, and if we're a representation of them and we're a part of it, then that's not what we want to represent. Or
Yeah.
even like Sarah said, just supporting her and the things that she would like to do. Like I've never been like, no, I don't want to support you. I don't care what you like or anything like that. Always try to be supportive, and even if it's in something I don't believe in, like honestly, like the podcast and all that, or the social media, like it's not my favorite cup of tea, but I'm supporting my wife, and I'm I have a voice that needs to be heard as well. But it's just those type of things that like you when you're compassionate about something and your significant other is compassionate about those things too, then you're obviously sharing something and you're growing, and that's growth. That's a beautiful thing to have. So that's like Sarah said, wiser and grown and wiser. I don't know the word you
Older and
said, older
wiser.
and
Yeah.
wiser. Those things definitely I've always felt like we're wise beyond our years because the things that we've experienced and the things that we've gone through. So we just try to share those things as well. Definitely would like to say as well, just to be cautious of those things too, and don't try and be pulled in by somebody sweet talking you in your ear and stuff like that, and just listen for those little indicators like Sarah and I talked about oh, would you like to earn a passive income, and would you like to retire so early, because everything sounds so good, but just be real to yourself and be true to what it is that you're trying to build before you started building
Yep.
this network marketing. And like Sarah said, it's oversaturated now to where it's like not even, you could throw a rock and somebody will be like, oh, I tried that and it didn't
Yeah.
work out for me. Or I built this leg or anything like that. Or even when we went to big events, I was like, I knew that kid from school. Or I
Yeah.
remember seeing some of my high school friends, and they'd be like, "Oh yeah, we tried building it, but we had a ship going, and everybody just jumped off board."
Jump ship.
And it was just like, yeah, that's kind of like discouraging to hear that, because like you invest so much time, and it would be like couples would start it together, and then it would just be one of the couple that would just be
Yeah.
pushing for it, because one's like, I'm tired of doing this, and I was like, I'm gonna keep doing it because I feel there's something out of it, and that it could become good or bad at that point, but obviously what is that? That's separation from your family, separation from your spouse. And like that shouldn't be encouraged, to try and chase, to leave your job and these things. Like if just
Yeah.
consider yourself
And
and be true to your
also
heart and cautious.
being hip to like the network marketing game when you've been in it for so long too, when changes come. When companies start changing like CEOs, when they change doctors, when they start changing big wigs in the company, something's up. And you have to do your research as well. Like something is up with companies when they start changing that. And you have to know about other companies around you. Um, going back to the happy juice thing, I knew something was coming when they changed the CEO. I knew what was going on. There was beef behind closed doors, okay? But you have to have been hip to the whole network marketing game long before all of this came down the pipe. And I stopped drinking it before. And then I honestly had a craving and bought it again. And then when I tasted it, I had realized they changed the product. I knew they changed the product to make it better, but it also just didn't hit the same. It didn't taste the same. It didn't hit the same, and it wasn't the same. So kind of like with Amway, when we became a customer, there was fillers in the vitamins, so it was like no longer a good product either. Um, and you just have to be kind of like hip to the game, like when it comes to like network marketing. And I know some people are just like, I need money, and they think that that's their only option is like network marketing. Network marketing is not your only option. There is so many different. I was just looking at it today because we are starting our own business. It is not a topic of discussion. It is not a when. It is not a maybe if. It is just when. It is just we are. We're about to. It's just like we're in the process of it. It is no longer just like talking about it. We are about it, but also getting some additional certifications under our belt. There's so many different options out there to get certifications for certain things that you want to offer. You can get certified in so many things. 12 weeks, 16 weeks. There's so many different options out there, affordable options that you can offer. People always tell me like multi services. I offer multi services because I am educated in different areas. And you don't have to just turn to network marketing. You don't have to just say, you know what, I need extra income. I could just do this. I could just push this product and I can do that, especially when you know a product's not good for you, especially when you know these products are not the best for your body or your health or your mind, but you just need extra income that bad. Like I personally cannot be that desperate. I personally cannot allow myself to fall down that hole again because I've done it too many times. Mostly because I wanted to try a product and liked the product, but I personally will not risk my integrity and I will not bend before I break anymore. Like I just won't. We personally would just start another business, work another job before I would do network marketing again because I won't lie. I won't risk my integrity. And I definitely am not going to keep on pushing products, especially products that are not truly good for you or don't really truly have amazing benefits that are proven or that I know where they're sourced from or that I can really stand behind a company that is not immoral or unethical. Because a lot of the network marketing companies out there truly are. When you do your research, a lot of them are not. They can say that they're founded on something because even when we were in Amway, oh, they were founded on faith. But if you wanted to go to church and not go to an event, forget about it.
Mm-hmm.
Their event was more important than you going to church. Oh, we're going to have church at the event. No. We're not going to have the same kind of church that I'm going to have at church.
Yeah.
Like it was like more of like a prosperity type service. And to me, no, I want intimacy with God, not just prosperity.
Yeah.
That's not what we wanted or what we were
Not gonna
looking
bend the
for.
rules for
Yeah.
faith, or because you tell us it's going to be one thing and that's their only way to try and get us in the door. Like, oh yeah, we have that. We could do that.
Yeah, and
Right?
a lot of companies will tell you, "Oh, we love God." And it's the prosperity God, the God of prosperity, the God who's like, "Oh, God's going to bless you with material things. God's going to bless you with money." But that's not the God we serve. The God we serve is a loving God. The God we serve is not just about money. The God we serve is about correction. The God we serve does rebuke. The God we serve is against sin. The God we serve is not just like an all-knowing, all-loving, all-seeing God and just is okay with everything, because the word of God said he's not. And a lot of these companies will tell you, "Oh yeah, we have God." But what God do they have? So that's the other thing too. We've run into that with companies as well, where they want to bring us in. They know that we're people of faith and they're like, "Oh yeah, we love God. We have God." But don't miss the event for church or your faith.
Yeah.
Because that's not the God they worship. They worship their business. They worship the money.
Yeah.
Not
Still
Jesus Christ.
You're
You
not
know,
God. You're an idol. So
it's an idol. Exactly, an idol. There you go. But definitely, I mean, there's so much more that we could talk about when it comes to network marketing. And I just think that, our Amway experience is probably the biggest and the deepest experience that we had. And we spent a lot of time in it. And we probably didn't go in like the most depth of it. But I mean, it's definitely what reeled us in. And we thought that it was like an angel in disguise. I remember saying that for years. I see Facebook memories where I'm like, "Oh, the angel in the diaper aisle," because we believed it. We believed it. We lived it. We thought that, our mentor was a godsend.
Yeah.
And it was what was going to get us out of debt. And we did learn financial planning.
There was some significant things that
We learned some great things, like how to get out of debt, how to manage our money. Some we learned some good things through our mentor, but it was not the end all be all. Like network marketing was not it. Multi-level marketing is not it.
Yeah.
Affiliate marketing ain't it either. They just changed the names. It's all the same. I don't care how you twist it, spin it, bop it. What's the new word they say? The kids always sing it. um,
yeah.
but yeah.
Thank you for, this. And I feel, yeah, like Sarah said, we didn't go full in depth into exactly what it was. We kind of jumped around a lot, but that's pretty much, in a nutshell, what we went through and experienced. And we could just be like honest and say, like, we tried it, went back to it, realized that it wasn't for us, and we realized what is true
Became customers
for us. And we can truly be like those people that say, hey, like, don't make that same mistake, or if you do, be cautious of what you're doing, or if you're gonna do it, then I guess I warned you. But like I said, it's oversaturated now. Like, I think it just, it's everywhere, especially with the internet. Like I said, I'm not on social media or anything like that, but I can only imagine how much it is, even more, in your face or everywhere, every corner, everything. So it's just like, yeah, to have your life involved, to be on all the time, if you will, is overwhelming. It's exhausting. It's taking away time from your family. But yeah, I think that unless you have anything else to add, babe, I think that I don't know. Like,
Yeah. I mean, that's really all I think for today. And
yeah, thank you guys.
we'll be back for another one, another day.
Yeah.
And thanks for listening.
All right. Thank you guys.
Have a good one.
Bye.